Blood splatters and bullet holes cover the concrete walls and escape tunnels of one of the world's most notorious drug kingpins' hideouts. The drug lord and former Sinaloa cartel leader Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Loera, also known as Joaquin Guzman or El Chapo, was photographed inside two safe houses. Guzman was born in Sinaloa to a poor farming family. He was physically abused by his father and also got into the drug trade through him, helping him grow marijuana for local dealers in his early adulthood. Guzman began working with Hector Luis Palma Salazar, one of the country's rising drug lords, in the late 1970s. He assisted Salazar in mapping drug routes through Sinaloa and into the United States. He later oversaw logistics for Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, one of the country's leading kingpins in the mid-1980s. But after Gallardo's arrest in 1988, Guzman formed his own cartel. He accomplished this by pioneering the use of distribution cells in long-distance tunnels near borders, allowing him to export more drugs to the United States than any other trafficker in history. Guzman's leadership of the cartel also brought enormous wealth and power. Forbes named him one of the world's most powerful people between 2009 and 2013, and the Drug Enforcement Administration estimated that he matched Pablo Escobar's influence and wealth. Guzman was apprehended in Guatemala in 1993 and extradited to Mexico, where he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for murder and drug trafficking. In 2001, he bribed prison guards and escaped from a federal maximum security prison. His fugitive status resulted in a combined $8.8 million reward from Mexico and the United States for information leading to his capture, and he was arrested in Mexico in 2014. Prior to his formal sentencing in 2015, he escaped through a tunnel dug by associates into his jail cell. Little is known about Guzman's upbringing. He sold oranges as a child and dropped out of school in third grade to work with his father, so he's functionally illiterate. He was known as a practical joker and used to enjoy playing practical jokes on his friends and family when he was younger. He was frequently beaten and sometimes fled to his maternal grandmother's place. Guzman oversaw operations that produced, smuggled into, and distributed large amounts of cocaine, methamphetamine, marijuana, and heroin throughout the United States and Europe. And while one is abandoned with a haunted past, the other has begun a new life. The first residence is in Los Mochis, a city in northern Sinaloa, Mexico, where Guzman spent his final days before being apprehended by Mexican Marines and extradited to the U.S. Guzman used his second home in Culiacan, Sinaloa's capital, as a safe house because of its safe escape routes. Despite his estimated net worth of $12.6 billion, his homes were in poor condition for the leader of a global drug trafficking operation. Hans Maximo Musalik, a longtime photographer who has spent time on the scene of both properties, gave the Post an inside look at the derelict refuge used by one of the most dangerous drug traffickers, responsible for killing up to 3,000 people in just 1 year of his nearly three-decade reign. Everything was a mess inside the house, Musalik told the Post, adding that he saw large coagulated pools of blood firsthand. While the first house remains vacant, the second has a new owner, according to Musalik. The two-bedroom house was won by an unknown party in the Mexican National Lottery, but the winner is remaining anonymous out of fear of the cartel. Following his arrest, officers chose to transport El Chapo in a motel room and stay there until backup arrived. The two-story house has 3 bedrooms on the first floor and a living room on the second. Another large room has what appears to be a walk-in closet with glass walls. There were beds in each of the bedrooms. Because of its proximity to the walk-in closet where a secret entrance was discovered, the first room on the first floor is thought to be Guzman's bedroom. Several signs of the battle between Guzman's gang and government officials can be seen in the photos and videos. While Guzman and his bodyguard fled the house, others resisted, buying them time. National and international media were allowed to enter the safe house almost 24 hours after his arrest. Musalik told the Washington Post, adding that the scene could have been the last stand of some of Guzman's men. The house is still off the market and under low-level surveillance. The house cannot be sold or auctioned because of outstanding court cases. Guzman was hiding out in a house in Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico in February 2014, but fled through back tunnels and canals as authorities pursued him. A few days later, he was apprehended in nearby Mazatlan. That house was later renovated. Surveillance cameras that monitored everything around the home's perimeter were removed, and the hole under a bathtub that connected it to underground tunnels was sealed. Last year, Mexico's Institute to Return Stolen Goods to the People, or INDAP, attempted to auction off the house, with bidding starting at around $130,000, but no bids were received. The two-bedroom home, however, was raffled off by the government on September 15, 2021 via the Mexican National Lottery. A single lottery ticket cost 250 pesos in Mexico. 2 million tickets were sold, but there are no details on who has come to own it, possibly due to the property's association with organized crime. When President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador announced the lottery for the house in June, he made no mention of the previous owner or the home's ties to the drug cartel. Obrador only mentioned a black fence and that it was 7 minutes away from a park. A strange home with no known owner sat on the corner of Roquelit and Chiquilpan Boulevard in Los Mochis, Mexico. It was the site of the Mexico's Black Swan operation, a January 8th raid that resulted in the capture of notorious drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. The former safe house was one of 20 impounded properties up for grabs in Mexico's Independence Day lottery, having previously failed to sell it at auction with a starting bid of $130,000. Proceeds will benefit athletes who competed in the Tokyo Olympics. The raffle's goal, according to Ernesto Prieto, Director General of Mexico's Institute to Return Stolen Goods to the People, is to turn onerous properties with high maintenance costs into a tangible benefit for society. Officials told the Associated Press that they were surprised by the attention, and neighbors said that they have no idea who owned it. The in-depth website simply referred to it as Casa en Culiacan. It does, however, have one important feature: a storm drain right next door, which allowed Guzman to construct his tunnel under the bathtub, connecting it to 6 other homes. The 64-year-old gangster, dubbed Shorty in Spanish, was famous for his use of underground tunnels, not only to avoid arrest but also to transport drugs beneath the U.S. border, earning him the moniker Lord of the Tunnels. By early 2016, Mexican authorities had retraced Guzman's steps. They chose a simple white concrete compound in Los Mochis, a coastal city in Guzman's home state of Sinaloa this time. A dramatic video shows troops raiding the house with guns drawn. However, Guzman was not apprehended there. Authorities later discovered that the Sinaloa cartel boss has slipped into an escape hatch hidden behind a mirror. He ran for about a half a mile before appearing from a manhole cover in the middle of a street. Later that day, police apprehended Guzman. He's been in prison since then. Investigators who have followed Guzman's career say there's no doubt that other hideaways exist and that the cartel boss may attempt to flee. Guzman is currently serving a life sentence in the United States for drug trafficking, murder, kidnapping, and other crimes. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments what you want to watch next. See you in the next video.